Hi, my name is Rihanna Marie Weiss at San Bernardino Valley College, and me and my group are doing a study on the relationship between social media comparison and self esteem. With extensive research, we have learned that when people engage with content on social media, they tend to engage in social comparison, said by Erwin et al. In 2023. Several studies have determined that there is a correlation between social media comparison and self esteem levels. This topic is important because social media is a major part of daily life, especially for young adults, and it has been shown to influence mental health, self perception, and overall well being, said by Belsley and Johnson in 2025. The purpose of this research is to consider the reason why self esteem levels are correlated to comparing oneself to others on social media. Self esteem refers to an individual's overall evaluation and perception of their own worth, said by Lee in 2025. The current research has similarities with previous studies on this topic. Similar to this research, previous studies have been based on theories that there was a negative, moderate, significant relationship between the self-esteem levels of the participants and their social media addiction levels, said by Kolak et al. In 2023. This study hypothesized that increased social media use and comparison is associated with lower levels of self-esteem, which was supported by our data.
Hello, my name is Brittany Wall, and I'll be going over methods. So we had 25 participants. The participants were 18 years and older. They took an online anonymous survey. Our demographics was about from 18 to 52 years old. Gender and identities included woman, male, and self-described genders. We have ethnicities included Hispanic, African American, white, Caucasian, Asian, and other. And our methodology was a quantitative correlational research design, data collected through Google Forms. Our variables measured that social media comparison during social media use with self-esteem. The 5-point Likert scale used was 1 through 5, as 1 strongly disagree and 5 strongly agree. Our procedures was participants reviewed informed consent forms, completed demographic questionnaires, answered social comparison and self-esteem questions. Survey completion took around 10 to 15 minutes. Responses remained anonymous, of course, and data coded and analyzed using the SPSS and PSPP system.
Hi, my name is Julia Gonzalez Castro, and today I will be presenting social media consumption versus self-esteem. Let's start by looking at the numbers. This study examined the relationship between social media consumption and self-esteem. The table shows the means and standard deviations for both scales. On a scale where higher numbers indicate more of the trait, the average self-esteem score was 3.46, which the average social media consumption score was slightly lower than 2.97. Looking at the standard deviations, both are around 0.93 to 0.98, which tells us there is a reasonable spread in responses. Finally, Combrax alpha for both scales is above 0.93. For those unfamiliar with statistics, a Combrax alpha above 0.7 is considered good. So 0.8 is an excellent score, so 0.936 tells us that the survey questions were highly reliable and measured to the intended concepts consistently. Now, let's get to the key findings. The effect size, represented as R-squared, is 0.593, is considered to be approximately 59% of the variation in self-esteem scores and can be explained by social media consumption levels. This is a very large effect in social science research. The p-value is less than 0.001. That means that there is less than a 0.1% chance that these results happen randomly. In other words, this finding is statistically significant. The higher the social media consumption is significantly associated with lower self-esteem. As social media goes up, self-esteem tends to go down. This data suggests a strong negative relationship between how much time someone spends on social media and how they feel about themselves. While correlation doesn't prove causation, the effect size here is notable, and the statistical significance is strong. Future research might explore whether specific platforms or types of content are more strongly linked to this effect.
Hi, my name is Ililaway Rocha, and I will be going over the discussion aspect of our study. So we are seeing a significant rise in social media use, but that definitely comes with a cost. Our research shows that as usage goes up, self-esteem often goes down, and that's largely because we are constantly exposed to idealized and filtered content that doesn't really reflect reality. To understand why this happens, we look at social comparison theory. Basically, we can't help but compare our behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel. This creates a persistent negative correlation that we see across the board in many psychological studies. So it's important for us to be transparent about the limitations that we faced in our study. We have to consider confounding variables. For instance, someone might already have low self-esteem before they even log on to do our survey. Additionally, because we used self-reports and a small sample size, we have to be really careful about making broad generalizations. So where do we go from here? We need to push for better social media literacy, not just for kids and users, but for parents as well. In the future, we want to look at the difference between passive scrolling and active posting to see if one is more harmful than the other. Larger, more diverse studies will be the key to confirming these insights. And that is all for my discussion. Thank you.